Hi people. I wanted to talk today about not only distractions in dog training but problem solving those distractions when your dog is distracted, in our case with foxes. Yes, I mean, obviously a dog has got to be able to work around pretty much any distraction, which said can, but this fox thing is new-ish. I mean, the family of foxes knows us, but this one fox, as you know, is very persistent. Now, if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I wouldn't be believing this, okay? I mean, we did our recall, our long distance recall. We did, what did we do after that, said? Our heel work. And, the fox isn't very far away. But the whole family were there. The three were over in the corner where they watch, you know what I mean? And I think they're all vixens. And anyway, she did a circle work, and then we do our compass retrieve. Her 4-point retrieve. So I went and put the cones out, and as I do so, I put a ball on each cone. So, and I stand in the middle. So I've got a cone behind, cone in front, one to the left, one to the right. As I set up to start the exercise, the fox went up to the cone behind me and poked the ball off the cone with his nose. Very precisely, the black part of the nose, poked it off. So you see, the fox is now starting to learn. After he did that, he got all archy-backed and archy-tailed and bounced to the side and tried to encourage her to play. Said it's not interested in playing at all ever with dogs, let alone foxes, especially when she's working and even when she's not working. But I can't believe what I'm seeing. So now the problem solving bit, when we were doing distance control, Zed felt a little bit uncomfortable with having 4 foxes behind her. Now I can understand that. I wouldn't want 4 men that I didn't know behind me, or any people behind me, to be frank. So I just turned it round so that she was facing the foxes. You do have to think on your feet when you're training your dog. And if your dog starts having a problem, she did her exercise beautiful, but she crept forward a bit, which normally she doesn't do, because I have a round yellow mat, which I put about 1.5 foot in front of her, so that I can tell whether or not she's moved forward at all, which she doesn't usually. So normally I'm facing that way, so I turned 180 degrees around, put the mat down so she could keep her eye on the foxes, and she did her exercise beautifully. But she just this fox, he's really got a thing about her. He really has. I mean, the thing is, I can't sit here and say Zed's fully in seasoned, because she isn't. I haven't seen a drop of blood from her yet. I'm seeing, what I'm calling El Weanio, because she's weeing a lot. And that's always indicative of a bitch coming into season. But Zed's an extremely clean dog as far as her bits go. So, but where she's got very thick fur feathering on her back legs, what we call knickers. Don't move the computer with your bottom, which we call knickers. You know, I don't know. So, her behaviour suggests she is. There is a thing called a silent season, whereby they have a season but don't bleed. Please, can you stop doing that? Thank you. Whereby they don't bleed, and I hope that's not the case. I really do, because that there's a risk of pyo there, pyometra. So yes, I know. Oh, I love you. I know, Di, but she, it was funny this morning, and you asked me to keep you up to date with it, but when it does come to training with dogs, you're going to come across distractions or situations where your dog's not very comfortable, and you have to problem solve on the spot, on your feet. You know what I mean? Literally, I just swapped it all round so she could see the foxes. However, on her downstay, rather than just make it a stay, I put my training bag by her, and I said to her to go on the bag. Will you stop it? To guard the bag. Now, she will not move from a guard. So, I went out of sight. I can keep an eye on the situation, by which time I'd shooed the fox, because you have to be fair with Zed here. If she's feeling uncomfortable, which I don't want her to, I think it's only fair to get the distraction away from her a little bit, only a little bit, and I was very gentle because I don't want her to start chasing them, or chasing him. So because that would increase her prey drive, which I've spent so long capping, I'm not going to allow it. So I've made it very clear to Zed that I will deal with the situation, and she sees me as her protector anyway. So, I went ahead and I moved the fox back a bit, and I looked at him and I said, "Not when she's working." As if he understands, but we don't know. He may well do. But he was very proud of himself. Literally, he used the right tip of his nose, his little black nose, and went like that with the ball, pushed it off. So I had to go around, put it back on again, and shoo him away. Anyway, I just thought I'd tell you. I mean, I'll be glad when she actually comes into season proper. It's yes, it's just not worth the risk. I mean, she is such a clean dog, but I haven't seen a spot of blood from her, and she doesn't swell to her second week anyway. So I just keep going out early. I do anyway, so it doesn't make any difference. But you have to see it to believe it, and he was so pleased with himself. He literally, how dogs get a hook in the tail and a little arch back and sort of pounce about. It's exactly what he did. It was like, "Oh, no, clever, come and play with me. Don't work. Work's boring." But the fox is learning. The fox is learning, and that I find fascinating. He sat and he studied and he watched, and he watches what we do. And yeah, it's very interesting. Anyway, that's it. That's all I've come to say today. I couldn't stop laughing, which was very difficult when you're trying to do some serious formal training. But anyway, I just found the whole thing hilarious. Making it very clear to Sid that I wasn't laughing at her, I was laughing at the fox. Please stay well, people. And obviously, you all know that foxes can't mate with dogs any more than they can mate with wolves. Wolves can mate with dogs, but foxes can't. All right, people. Love you loads. Take care. Bye for now.